So, as I've told you in my previous class, I have taught you what's custom checkbox and how to add a custom checkbox in an Android application. Then I told you about toggle button and as default checkbox in an Android application. How can we add that actually? So today we'll go through Android radio button. How we can add the radio buttons, which we have aided already in website development also. So if you talk about radio button, it's also having two states. It's a two states button, which is either checked or unchecked, or you can say on or off. All right, so if a single radio, you can say checked or unchecked. Yeah, so if a single radio button is unchecked, we can click it to make it checked radio button. So in your applications, when you use to submit or insert the information about the forms or even the websites, when you insert the information, mostly in web forms, you will have these options, the radio buttons, or when you have choose the options in an Android application or website form, you can make use of radio buttons. So same is the case over here. So they are checked and unchecked. Those who are unchecked, they used to be blank, and when you click on that, they will get checked and they will show you the black color of the radio button. So once a radio button is checked, it cannot be marked as unchecked by user. All right, so you cannot mark it as unchecked when you just select that. It means you cannot click on that, otherwise you have to click on other particular option, then only you will have other option. So once the radio button is checked, it cannot be marked as unchecked by the user. So radio button in Android is used with radio group. What's this radio group? Another library. So radio group, GROUP, radio group contains
multiple radio buttons.
Yeah, several or multiple radio buttons. All right.
So it works like a div in HTML.
Same like, yes, exactly. So it's like a division of radio buttons. So they're going to mark it. So marking one radio button as checked makes all other unchecked. So makes all other radio buttons unchecked. So that's called as the radio group. So it's a group of radio buttons which will help you to select among 4, 5, 6 radio buttons. And when you select one, all other radio buttons will be unchecked. When you check one, you cannot check all the radio buttons. So among 4 or 5, you can only select one. Okay. So that's the basic information of radio button. Now quickly we will go and start our practical work on radio button. So example, so in this example our demonstration, we are going to implement single radio button separately, as well as a radio button in radio group. So we'll take both options. So we'll implement first a single radio button, and then we will also add a radio button in a radio group. So this is the thing. So we will go ahead and create a new project. First of all, we will open the Android Studio. Hadil, have you called Miss Lubna? And Amal. Okay. So this is our previous project. I will go and create a new project, empty activity next, and I will name it as Android Radio button. Make sure that the language is Java, and then finish. So that's the radio button, and close the previous project. So here we go. All right, so this is our main activity Java file. This is our activity.xml file. So first of all, we'll go ahead and modify our activity main.xml file, and then only we'll go and modify or try to add the methods in the main activity.java, right? So first of all, if you have to run it as an idle application, you can just click over here and it will just give you hello world text in an application of an emulator that we have added in the first class of Android development. So this is the previous one. When you run it again, there's the previous checkboxes, the custom checkboxes. What is happening? This is app. Here you can see Android radio button. Oh, there's a problem. Android radio button is just a mistake that I have did here while naming a project. It's not a problem. So now we'll go here in the activity main. So right now we are not going to use the constant layout. We are going to use relative, or you can say linear layout. So linear layout. That's it. The rest of the things will be same: XML, Android, Sigmas, Android.com, APK, REST, Android. Then other REST auto tools, Sigmas, match parent, main activity, and text view. And now the first text view that we used to have is, we do not have to delete it. I will just add Android ID attribute. So with the help of ID, we can recognize. So ID equals to @ plus ID. This is the first text view. So that I'm gonna name it text view first. And then Android layout width is wrap content. Layout height is wrap content. And then next attribute is Android layout margin top. So layout margin top is here, and I am gonna give it as 30 dp. All right, then next is Android. These are all the properties with attributes. So layout, sorry, Android, now it's gravity or gravity. Gravity will be center horizontal. That's it. And then Android text size, which is going to be 20 dp, and Android text will remove this, so we'll make it as single radio buttons. And I don't need these for now. I will need them at last. The rest of the things I'm going to delete in this text. Next is, first of all, default radio button. So this is how we comment here, same like as HTML. So the default radio button with the help of radio button here. Okay, so layout width, we are going to use fill parent. Then layout height, we are going to use wrap content. And here, first attribute is always android.id. It's not necessary it should be the first, but we make it as first. So ID will say radio button first. This is just an ID which will help us to create the methods in the Java main activity.java file. Then fill content, wrap content as layout width and height. Again, then Android layout gravity. So that's going to be center horizontal, or simply go gravity. And then the text, if you want to add, so that's Android text attribute, which is going to be radio button first, and then Android layout margin top, it's going to be 20 dp. Halas. After that, Android text size, you can choose the color also, text size 20 dp. That's it, and I'm gonna close it. Okay, and now if you have to add another radio button, so we do not have to type it again and again, just copy the same. All we need to do is we need to change the ID, then width is same, fill parent, height is same. So here we do not have to add the gravity, you can say gravity in the second. So radio button 2 instead of 1, and margin top is now the layout margin top property is set as, or you need to set it as 10 dp, and then text sizes same as what we have here, so that's 20 dp. After that we will have another view. So view button, so view button here is fill parent and then wrap content. Before it we used to have Android ID, which is text view 2. There's a second text view which will help us to add some text. Next is Android layout margin top. So Android, yep, layout margin top, and it's going to be 30 dp. And then after that, Android gravity, what is the problem? Android gravity is equal to center horizontal, but it's not layout gravity, it is just gravity. And Android text size, (20 dp). Android text, oh sorry, not view, it's a text view. That's why it's going to give you, is giving you just this radio button inside radio group. It's text view, not view. Gravity, center horizontal. And now before this radio button inside the group text view, we'll add one view with Android layout width, which is fill parent, and then Android layout height, which is 1 dp. Then after that, Android layout margin top, which is very important, so it's 20 dp. And then Android background color, which is going to be hash B8B894. That's it, that's the view. And now we have the customized radio buttons. How do we add the customized radio buttons? So customized radio buttons. Sorry. So customized radio buttons in a radio group. So first we have to add a radio group then. Radio group is here. All right, so radio group, wrap content, and even the height is wrap content. And then Android ID, you can set it as first one, but it's okay, you can put it anywhere. So add the rate plus ID. So we can say it's a radio Group. Group. That's it. Yep. And now, wait a sec. Is it like this? Yep. Inside this, if you have to add the radio buttons, you need to add the group radio group, and it has to be like this. It should not be like we are closing it like this. So it has to be radio group. You need to close the tag here, and it should have a separate closing tag. And inside it, we are now going to add the radio buttons. I will just copy this here and put it here 2 times, and then we need just 2 radio buttons to show you. So now radio button. So suppose that we have to choose between male and female. So radio button male. So ID is gonna be ID radio male, and then fill parent will be same. Height will be right content. Text will be male. All right, margin on top 10 dp, and then text size 20. And here we have to add one more property, which is Android checked button, and it should be false by default because it should not be checked first of all. And then another radio button with the same, but we are going to change it to female radio button, and fill parent wrap content text should be female. There should be some sort of space to give so that radio button will have some space. Okay. Margin on top this, and 20 margin on top is 20 dp, and then again Android checked button, it should be false. Android checked, it should be false. That's it. So that's how we can add radio buttons using the group which is called as radio group. So these are radio buttons inside this radio group. You can add more radio buttons, but for now I am gonna add only one, and we have to come out of this and then submit button. So that's just a button. So wrap content here, and then height also. We are going to use the property wrap content. Android text, what's gonna be the text? It's gonna be show selected, or you can say display selected. And then Android ID @ button it is. So Android, we have to click a method or create a method. Android on click, sorry. On click is a method, and we'll say on click button method. We'll create this method, and name of the method is this. Then Android layout gravity, which is going to be center horizontal, and then close it. So this is going to show you the error because we have not created this method yet. We have to create it in the main activity.java. Until that, it will be underlined with this red line, red curly line, because we have not created this method. So this is the activity main.xml file where we added some default radio buttons or and then we added the radio buttons inside the radio group. Okay, clear? Hello?
Yeah.
Now we have to add the information. We have to make sure that they are going to work together when we check them, when we click on them in the application. So we have to add the information about the activity main.xml files and the IDs about here. So what we are going to do is, in the main method as a public, we are going to define the variables with the class name. So button is the class name, so button, and we're going to use one variable button here. And then with the help of radio button, I'm gonna define the radio button, which is gender radio button, and variable gender radio button. And then with the help of radio group, again, I have to just create a variable, suppose it's radio group class. So these are three variables that we have defined because we have used these buttons here. We have defined radio buttons, radio group, and a button. So we need to define variables based on these classes so that we can access these things very easily. All right. So after that, whatever the method we are going to create, we have to call that within this protected void on create. But let's go and create the methods which is public void on click button method. Is it capital here or small? Yeah, capital. So on click method or button method. So it's view. We can name it as V, and then we'll go over here. Oh, time is running out. We have just 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, we're gonna say something, and I'm gonna start the class again. So public void on click button method. So I will just, if it's not the same, I will just copy it to make sure that it's the same thing here. So copy it because we are creating the method for it. Then int, I'm gonna just use selected ID equals to radio group dot get checked radio button ID, like this. This is the method we're gonna use. Next is gender radio button, which is gonna be equal to same radio button or the radio group. So radio button find view by ID. So it's selected ID. So selected ID, which we have defined just before some time. So then if selected ID is equal to -1, then what we can do is we'll say that if it's if it's equal -1, so we'll say the toast, we will just give the toast and make text with character sequence. So make text main activity dot this comma nothing selected comma toast dot length short or long. If you want long, you can go with that also. Dot show. The same types of commands we have to give. That's if, otherwise else. Toast dot make text main activity dot this, comma, gender radio button dot get text, comma, toast dot length long or short, no, sorry, dot show. That's it. So this is the method that we have to create, and you will see still it's having a problem. What is this problem now? On click button method. Yeah, we have not called it as we have created the method. So what we are going to do is, with the help of RadioGroup, we have to call this method. So RadioGroup. So RadioGroup is here. So find view by ID, and it's r.id dot RadioGroup. What's the issue here? Cannot resolve view. Public void on click method view v. Do we need to import something here? Oh, import view is not here. So import Android view dot view. So yep, now you will see the error has been removed, and you need to just add the view here. So selected ID, invert selected ID. So as you can see over here, all the things are correct, and in here we have added some variables with the help of classes and then created the method which we have mentioned on the button. So that's it. That's the example about the radio buttons. And now next thing is to only just refresh this button. There is an issue with attribute text size not found. Where is it? 48 text size. It's in text view. It's S capital here. Yep, text size 20 dB, and then text. That's it. S is capital. Make sure that you're going to write. Yep, that's it. So these were the small differences, and you will have your applications here. It's gonna load the application, and you can see single radio buttons, but where are the other buttons? Wait, RadioGroup has not been shown. Rest of the radio buttons are not seen here. Text view, customized radio buttons. That's the radio group. So radio group, find view by ID. Even the last button is not shown here. As single radio buttons. What is the issue? Everything is correct in terms of height and width. It should be different. It should be different. It should be different. It should be different. Something is, I guess, linear layout. Here is the problem. What is it showing here? Still the same thing. Orientation vertical. Yep. You have to add the orientation here in a vertical way. It was horizontal. That was the problem. So this is the main important thing here. You need to add the orientation vertical. So you can see single radio buttons. This is one, this is second. And then you can see radio button inside. When you click on it, you cannot uncheck it. You can see